My name is Carly Odell. I work for LS3P, which is an architecture firm across the Southeast. I'm an architectural designer, so I work under licensed professionals and just kind of assist them with different projects. I recently moved to Charlotte, and I'm working in their K-12 studio, so I get to work on high schools, elementary schools, middle schools.
Okay.
It's been a really great experience so far. So I studied architecture at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, and I'm originally from West Virginia, and so when I was kind of looking for what I wanted to do in college, no school in West Virginia had a 5-year accredited program. So I did a little research and found a few schools that they offered in-state reciprocity to be able to go to. So after touring most of them, I ended up at Tennessee. I just fell in love with the campus and just the culture there, so that's where I ended up going. I think for me, I knew I wanted to go a little bit further away from my hometown, but not too far, so it seemed like the perfect amount of distance from where I was from, and just being on campus and getting to tour the architecture program, I fell in love from day one and knew it was for me. I think in school my favorite subjects were art and math. I wasn't really into the sciences or anything like that, and so I was trying to think of something, and I knew I didn't feel confident that I could find something that was just math or just art, so I was really looking for something that combined the two. And so a family friend actually introduced me to architecture, and I just love the idea of it being challenging but also rewarding and seeing the impact that you have on the community. For me, I didn't deviate much. I was the first in my family to go out of state for college, so I was really committed and motivated to get through and be successful in it. But I did have friends that first semester that ended up changing their mind, and I just want to say that's totally okay to do that, because you won't really know if something is right for you until you try it. And they ended up much happier and just as successful in the other careers that they ended up choosing. In college, I worked a lot of different odd jobs, and I didn't really start looking for something that was architecture focused until about my summer of 4th year. But we had a lot of career fairs in which all kinds of firms would come and visit, and you could do a quick interview and then have a follow-up interview for opportunities. And by that point, my family had just moved to South Carolina, so I was kind of looking in that vicinity for someone offering an internship position, and ended up with my current company, which is LS3P, out of Myrtle Beach. So by week 2, I was like, wow, I really love this firm and could see myself here for the long run. And so following that semester, going back to college, LS3P didn't have an office local to Knoxville, so I ended up working part-time for a local firm, and just getting to see the contrast and differences between a very large firm and a very small firm. I think that was very enlightening as to what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. So I ended up taking a full-time position following graduation with LS3P and moving back down to Myrtle Beach. And what was so surprising was school is not at all like real-world architecture. Like in school it's all conceptual, and then when you get into a firm and you start doing things that are actually going to get built and make a difference in that sense, it was just very interesting to see the difference between the two. I think for me, both my dad and my grandfather were home builders, so growing up I was just around a lot of construction, and
that makes sense.
I didn't see myself actually doing construction, but I was always very good at art and wanted to further pursue that. And then I had a family friend that was a local architect, and he just kind of told me about what he did, and I just was up for the challenge and thought it would be a great field for me to try out. So for me, I had heard about LS3P just from being a large firm in the Southeast, and then over the summer I could have either stayed in Knoxville where I was going to school or stay with my parents for a little bit, and Myrtle Beach is just a great place to be during the summer, and I also wanted to spend time with family, so I was just kind of looking around for internship opportunities local to that area, and sure enough they had an office in Myrtle Beach, so they had an opening for an internship, and I applied and got it and never looked back since. So definitely more ups than downs in architecture. It's a high pressure, a big time commitment sort of profession, so I think just the pressure of trying to get through schooling, and then post-graduation, in order to be an architect, you have to take 6 licensure exams and then complete about 3,000 experience hours. So I think that's been the challenge, is just kind of getting those experience hours and then sitting for those really long exams. I do wish that I applied for internships earlier than my 4th year. because I didn't know that you would need all those experience hours, and if I could have started working on those sooner, I think it would have pushed me to get licensed earlier. But that would be my only regret. I think I would say just don't be afraid to try something. And like I said before, you never know if something's right for you until you just try it, but also take some of that pressure off of yourself and allow yourself the grace if something's not right for you to switch to something else, but always try to have a backup plan if it doesn't go the way that you thought it might. And then college is supposed to be the best years of your life, so while you're there, of course you're there to study, but also find a good balance of getting your schoolwork done and also just enjoying the time that you're there, because it really will shape you both academically and as an individual. I think maybe taking more risks. I almost wish that maybe I took some time away from school or working and just traveled and kind of explored architecture outside of the Southeast. But I know I'll have opportunities to do that in the future, so it's not a huge regret of mine, but just kind of enjoying those young years of your life. So I am 3/4 of the way through my licensure exams. I have 2 more out of 6, so I hope to complete those sometime early next year, and then just continue to grow as a professional, maybe get some experience in project management and start designing some of my own projects, and just also continuing to learn and grow from the talented people that I get to work with every day.